Not only for the introduction, but also for his leadership. It's never easy. Never easy, all this interaction, all the things that he's had to do over time, and the members of your governing body here. And I want to tell you that they've done a great job for the people in this town, and he deserves great credit. Thank you, Mayor, very much. One thing I want to tell you that your legislators have done a great job too. Chris and Brian and Diane are fighting for you all the time. They're fighting for you all the time. They're working really hard down there. They've been great partners of mine, and they deserve a great deal of credit as well. So here's why I'm late. Here's why I'm late.
Why?
I started today at Seaside Park at 6:40. And then we went up to Newark to a memorial service for the 38 people who lost their lives a year ago today. Then we went to Moonachie up in Bergen County. Then we came back down to Sayreville. And from Sayreville we went to Union Beach. And from Union Beach we went to Belmar. And from Belmar we went to Brick. And then from Brick I came right here. We're not done yet, because we're going to leave here. We're going to go back up to Seabright.
Wow.
And we're going to end the night in Seabright tonight. And I want to tell you, I started my day this morning by sleeping last night at Island Beach State Park. Because when I woke up this morning, a year after the second largest natural disaster that's ever hit this country, I wanted to wake up on the Atlantic Ocean. And so I woke up at 5 o'clock this morning and threw on a sweatshirt and walked out the back door of the house and walked out up on top of the beach and looked out at the ocean. And through the darkness, I could see that the ocean was calm. And I said a little prayer. And thank God for the fact that, unlike 2 years ago, you'll remember, on October 29th, we had that blizzard, right, that knocked out power and closed schools and did all those things that made me the most unpopular guy in my house because I canceled Halloween. And then a year later, on October 29th, we had Sandy. And I had to cancel Halloween again, which made me enormously unpopular. And so I was wondering to myself for the last 2 weeks, what was today going to bring? And I was hoping, against hope, that we weren't going to have one of those kind of typical late October New Jersey days, kind of cloudy and rainy and windy and starting to get cold like it does this time of year. Because I thought if we had that kind of day today, it would really drag people back to a year ago and bring back some awful memories of what happened a year ago today. But when I got done in Seaside this morning at 6:40 and the sun came up, and I saw the incredibly beautiful cloudless day that we had today, I really believe God was sending us a message. Give these poor people a break. Nothing on October 29th this year. And I think it was important to have a beautiful day today for another reason. Because today is not a celebration. It's not an anniversary that we celebrate. It's a commemoration of what happened to us a year ago today. Happened to us as a community, as a state, as a family. And on a day like today, having a beautiful day, I think gives us the opportunity to first count our blessings. We're still blessed, despite all the challenge and the tumult and the frustration and the anger and the loss. We're still blessed because we have had neighbors and friends and tens of thousands of volunteers from all over the country who have come to New Jersey in the last year to help us. And those are blessings that we should be thankful for, and take a moment today to be thankful for the fact that We live in a country where Americans take care of other Americans. Where when there are problems, when there are challenges, when there is tragedy, Americans don't run away from the problem. Americans run to the problem. And we have tens of thousands of people who ran to our problem to help us fix it. And we owe them a great debt of gratitude. And today is a day also to remember the folks whose lives have gotten back to normal. Tens of thousands of families across our state were ravaged by Sandy, but have their lives back to normal today. And for those people, we're grateful for them. But it makes me remember what it was like in the days immediately after the storm. You know, when we had 7 million people out of our 8.8 million citizens without power. 7 million out of 8.8 million when we woke up on the morning of October 30th. And I would come behind the microphones every day and I would say, well, we restored another 200,000 homes to power. And if you were one of those people listening to that on a transistor radio in the dark, I know what you were saying. Who the hell cares? My power's not back on. My house is still cold. My food's going bad. And, you know, it's not that you're not happy for the 200,000 families that got their power back. But until it happened for you, until the lights went on for you, you had no chance of being back to normal. It's the same thing with what we're going through right now. Those tens of thousands of families who are back home, we're happy for them. And we're happy that we were able to help them get there. But until everybody is back to normal, until everybody is back in their homes, until everyone has some sense again that their lives can be normal again, we can't completely celebrate. We can feel good for those who are back to normal, but I'm here tonight to tell the folks of this town that until everybody is back to normal, I will not rest and you cannot rest, because we owe those people that. We owe them never, ever, ever to be forgotten and not to be abandoned, and as long as I'm governor, they won't be. I know tonight there's lots of frustration. There's frustration with my new curse word. You're going, which he's got a new one now? My new curse word, the National Flood Insurance Plan. That's my new curse word. I can't stand those people. I really can't. They drive me crazy. There's frustration tonight with unscrupulous builders. There's frustration tonight with endless red tape from the government. There's frustration tonight because some have been helped, but not all have been helped. And so I'm coming here tonight to tell all of you that I feel your frustration too. And I'm fighting against it every day. And doing the best that we can to fight the craziness that exists down in Washington, D.C. I was on TV this morning and someone said, why isn't it going faster? And I said, remember something. When Hurricane Katrina hit, they approved aid in 10 days. When Gustav hit, they approved it in 17 days. When Sandy hit New Jersey, New York, they waited 92 days to even vote for help for us, and then the money didn't even start getting here until May. I told everybody, every day of delay on the front end leads to delay and misery on the back end. And so we're fighting in Washington every day to let them loosen up the strings, get rid of some of the crazy red tape, and get help to the people who need it. And we're going to continue to fight that fight. And all of you know this, that there may be better looking governors in America. There may be thinner governors in America.
You look good though.
But there is no governor in America who will be louder and fight harder for his people than I will fight for all of you. And it doesn't matter whether the offending people are Republicans or Democrats. If they're against New Jersey, they're in my way and in your way, and we will knock them out of the way. And at that memorial service this morning, we were in Newark at the New Hope Baptist Church. Reverend Joe Carter officiated over the ceremony this morning. We had men of every faith there to lead prayer. But Reverend Carter talked this morning about something he called the spirit of Sandy. And he explained it this way. He said, what happened in New Jersey when Sandy hit was we were imbued with a spirit. He said that spirit was like this. When the lights went out, nobody asked you what color you were. They just asked you for help. When your home was cold and someone offered you a warm place to sleep with your family, you didn't ask them whether they were Democrats or Republicans. When people were challenged by losing everything they had in their life, when a volunteer came to help, they didn't ask whether they're from North Jersey or South Jersey. They said, thank you for the help. That was the spirit that's brought our state together in ways that we never been brought together before. Neighbors helping neighbors, relatives bringing their family members in to take care of them. And we're going to continue to try to make sure that we remember what that spirit has done for our state. It's helped to bring us together. It's helped to begin to make us whole. But understand something. There's always been 3 phases to this process. The first was relief. Relief was to get people out of 6 feet of water. Relief was to get them warm and get them clothed and get them fed and keep them safe. That was the first phase. The second phase was recovery. Recovery is about step by step getting lives back to normal for as many people as possible. Getting their power back on, getting their school reopened, getting the roads open, getting the gas stations open. Making sure that food was in the supermarkets and people could begin to take care of themselves. The last phase, the third one, and the last one is the longest one and the most difficult one, and it's the one we're in the middle of right now. That's the rebuilding phase. And I always told you that was going to be the longest and the toughest one. And that was going to take 18 to 24 months because of the delays that we had from Washington and because it's just harder to rebuild than it is to destroy. It takes longer. It's more expensive, especially when you're going to rebuild stronger than you were before. We're in the third phase now. And it's the toughest phase and the longest one and the most frustrating one. But we cannot give in and we cannot give up. We cannot allow our communities not to be restored. Because in the end, the buildings, the homes, the businesses are part of the community, but they can only be restored by the people of the community. By them banding together and working together and holding each other up. That's what you've been doing for a year, and a year is a long time. A really long time. But after the year we've invested, we can't stop now. And we won't stop. See, before October 29th of last year, I used to say I had the greatest job in the world. That I was getting to be governor of the state where I was born and raised. And I've spent my whole life dragging my wife here, kicking and screaming, 27 years ago from Pennsylvania. My mother-in-law has still not forgiven me. But this is where we're raising our 4 children, where we intend to live out the rest of our lives. This is home. And I've had the chance for the last 4 years to be the governor of the place I call home. And it's been an incredible honor and privilege, and I said it was a great job. But I see there are some veterans in the audience tonight. I don't know if there's any members of religious order here tonight, but those 2 sets of folks will understand what I'm about to say in particular, although the rest of you will get it. they'll understand it in particular. See, a job is a great thing. It helps you pay the bills, put food on the table, keep a roof over your head. And if you have a good job, it's something that gives you a sense of satisfaction personally and professionally. It's a good thing. But on October 29th of last year, my job was no longer a job. It became a mission. Now, any of you who have ever had a mission in your life, you know that's different. That's sacred. You can quit a job, you can't quit a mission and maintain your honor. A mission is something that's bigger than your own self-interest. A mission is something that you do to serve others. A mission is something that stands for something that is a cause. None of us asked for this mission. None of us welcomed this mission, me included. This mission was thrust upon us. It was thrust upon us in 24 hours of destruction and despair. But I'm telling you tonight, the same thing I told you on October 30th of last year. This is now my mission. And I'm not going to let anyone, not any politician in Trenton or Washington, D.C., not any government agency, not any insurance company or insurance plan, not any group of people get in between me and you and the completion of our mission. That is my sacred promise to you. I have worked the last 365 days as hard as I can to meet that mission, and it's not done yet, but we are getting there, and we are not this type of people. We are not the type of people that other governors from around the country who called to offer help asked me, how do you keep doing it? I've seen this stuff. How does everybody keep going? And you know what my answer is to them every time? You obviously have not been to New Jersey. Not because of me, they haven't seen you. See, I tell them the thing that keeps me going is getting out on the road and seeing you. Your strength, your resolve, your despair, and your heartbreak. Your children and your grandchildren. Every one of them that is in need becomes my child and my grandchild. I've looked them all in the eye. I've hugged more people in the last year than I hugged in my entire life. And it's because not only did they need it, I needed it. Because from those hugs, I try to give you comfort. But from those hugs, you give me strength. The strength to continue to fight and the resolve to continue to move forward. I try to explain to other people from other states about the relationship between me and the people I'm privileged to lead. We know each other. The thing I've figured out the most in the last 4 years is when you look at me, you know who I am. You know where I come from. We talk the same way. I remember 2 years ago when I told everybody to get the hell off the beach. And I had reporters from Washington call me and say, "Did you really say that?" And I said, "Listen, I was really nice the first day and a half. You know, it would be really better if you moved to higher ground. It would be safer for everybody." And then I was watching on TV, and I'm telling you, I'll never forget this image. There was a reporter on the boardwalk in Asbury Park, and he was taking a shot with the beach behind him. And I saw this guy, and either his wife or his girlfriend, whoever, and he's putting sunscreen on her. And the storm's 18 hours away. And I got so pissed that I said, "I'm going downstairs to the press conference now." And my staff, this is when my staff gets the most nervous, everybody. And I am hot, and I'm getting ready to come behind the microphone. And so I said, "Listen, I saw this, and And then I said, get the hell off the beach. You've maximized your tan. It's over. Get out. And folks couldn't understand from other states. They couldn't understand how could you say that. And I'm like, this is the language my people understand. This is their language. It's our language. It's the language of New Jersey. When I said that, people from around the country were afraid that the people of New Jersey would recoil, and a few did. I got a couple of lectures, especially some older ladies who like to lecture me about that. But for the most part, in 18 hours after I said get the hell off the beach, 1.2 million people evacuated from the Jersey Shore without an accident, without an incident, without a fight. You guys understood. My point to you is this: we don't need a translator. We understand each other. And so when I get phone calls and emails and letters from people who are despondent and who are still in pain and are suffering, I read them all. And I respond personally to a lot of them. Because I want you to know we understand each other. We know who we are. And we know the challenge ahead of us. Now, there's a lot of debate and discussion about my personality. And you know, these pollsters take polls all the time. Do you think the governor is a bully? And sometimes when that number gets high, 60s and 70s, people say, does that upset you? And I said, see, you don't understand our language. You think people calling me a bully is an insult. In New Jersey, a lot of those people mean that as a compliment. They mean it as a compliment. And they mean it as a compliment because they know who I'm being a bully for. They want somebody to fight for them. They want somebody to scream when screaming is needed. They want somebody to swear when swearing is needed. They want somebody to represent them. The last year, whether it's in the halls of Congress or in the Oval Office, or on the beaches in our state, or up in Bergen and Hudson County where people suffer too, I just told you what I feel, what I intend to do, how I try to do it, in as straight a way as I possibly can. And so I come to you tonight, and I want you to understand something. I am happy for the people whose lives are back to normal, and I am angry for the people whose lives are not. And I told my staff yesterday, a group that's managing this recovery, that today was the day for us to turn the page, to reevaluate the way we're doing everything, and to redouble our efforts to make the next 6 months, the 6 months that we return everybody that we can back to their homes and back to normal. And anything less than that over the next 6 months is going to be a disappointment to me. And my staff does not like to disappoint me. Because it gets ugly, everybody. Very ugly. So I feel your frustration. I feel the excitement of those people who have done well. And I feel the fear of those who wonder whether there's ever going to be a better tomorrow. There will be. There will be. I know there will be. And so I'm traveling all over the state today, seeing literally thousands of those t-shirts and sweatshirts that say Restore the Shore. Thousands of people who have turned out today to say 3 things to me. Thank you. When am I going to get mine? And when will this be over? The thank you I accept. The when will I get mine is as soon as I pry it out of their hands and get it to you. And when will this be over? This will be over when every citizen of this state who was affected by this storm is back in a home they can call their own, feeling safe and secure again with the family that they love. And not a minute before. So thank you for coming out tonight. Thank you for all the people who are outside and couldn't get in. There's so many people out there that when I pulled up, I said to my staff, I thought this was an indoor event. They said it is, that's all the people couldn't get in. But for all you people who are here and couldn't get in, I hope you could hear what I said, at least the worthwhile stuff. And I want everybody, hey, I know, listen, I'll fire the staff guy who did that, don't you worry. The fact is that what I want you to understand is that we have a fight to finish together. We have a mission to complete together. And we are the type of people in this state who never back away from a fight, who never leave someone behind, and who would never, ever leave a mission uncompleted. So, today is a day for commemoration. And tomorrow is a day to get back to work, to restore our faith and our hope and our trust in our state and in each other. And you can count on the fact that I'm getting back to work tomorrow to make sure that when we get together a year from tonight, that we have nothing but smiling faces to see, and hope fulfilled and restored, and a state rebuilt, stronger and better than it was a year ago tonight. Thank you all very much.